All right, so let's start building. So I'm going to go add a tool. So I'm going to add a custom NA10 workflow tool. All right, so I'll select that and I will call it my financial metrics. All right, that's the name of this tool. And I'm going to tell it when to use this tool. Okay, so I'm going to tell the large language model, call this tool to get financial metrics for a stock ticker. So uh, that's how it knows what this tool does. Okay, so the workflow ID, I'm going to have my NA10 custom tool within the same canvas as this workflow here. So I'll go ahead and copy the ID for this workflow and insert it here. And then I'm going to populate a response field, and then I'm going to pass into this tool the ticker that I would like um, the financial metrics to be collected, right? So this will be passed into my tool. So I'll go add value, and I'm going to say ticker or add name, and then I'm going to pass into it my the settings here. So it's going to be the company string here. All right, so I will go ahead and add that in. So it will look like this. All right, so from my settings node, I'm going to uh, get the company variable, right? So this tool will pass into it this this company that I am getting uh, information for. All right, so I'm going to just name this here, rename it as my financial metrics. Okay, so this is the call side. Now I want to figure out now how to invoke the tool that then calls into this API here that gets the financial information, right? So I'm going to add here a trigger, and this trigger is going to be execute workflow. Okay, so I'll add this in. So when called by another workflow, I want to trigger it. So I'll go into here. All right. So whenever the large language model wants financial metrics, I'm going to trigger here. All right. So then I'm going to now add my settings node. So this settings node, I'm going to name it my FMP settings. And then I'm going to add in here the variable value of API key. So then I'm going to just paste it and cut and paste my API key that I got from registering from the website, the financial modeling prep website. So I'll insert it here. And then next, I'm going to now use what's called a HTTP node. Okay, HTTP node. So this node is used to call into uh, a HTTP endpoint. Okay, so in this case, I'll be using this endpoint here. So this endpoint is financial modeling prep, and then this API v3 ratios dash trailing 12 months TTM. So I will copy this and note how it's being called. Okay, so it's being called here. All right, I'll copy this. So this is the endpoint, and then slash. This is the ticker. Okay, so the ticker, as you recall, we're passing that from the custom tool. So I will go ahead and add this in. So I'll add this in first. Okay, so what it's doing here is it's going to my execute trigger node, right? And then it's getting the ticker variable that is passed in, right? So just recall that I'm passing in a variable called ticker, and then I call the execute workflow trigger, this will have that value, and I'm just gonna get that value from that node and put it as part of my URL call, right? And then lastly, for this, I need to look back at this uh, this call here, and what it'll tell me is that as part of the call, I'm going to need to put my API key right at the end. Okay, so let me just do that. All right, so I'm going to say at. So that is part of the syntax here. All right, so I'm going to specify at and then the API key. So API key, and this is from my previous node. I've set this key called API key. All right, so so this will call into this API, and then I will get that value back. Okay, so what I'll do next is, so I will call into here. All right, I'm going to add a edit field, and then I'm going to create a response tag, and then the value of that is uh, the output from the previous node. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of magic here. So this says from the previous node, there's going to be a JSON object. So kind of what this returns is a JSON object, and then I'm going to return that as a string. All right. All right. Now I have to do one more thing before I can put this together end to end. But just a quick recap. So I've created a financial metrics tool that is a custom NA10 workflow that then, when it recognizes it needs financial metrics, it will call into this execute workflow trigger. It'll get the API key that I've set here, and then it will call into this HTTP request that will go through the endpoint here that is provided by Financial Modeling Prep, and then it will return a response field. So I'll just rename this to response. All right, now I need to do one more thing before this can work. So in my prompt in the Senior Research Analyst, what I need to do is actually to tell it to use this tool. So I'm just going to add in here, I put here a Wikipedia tool, and then I'm going to put in here a prompt, add to this prompt to say, use financial metrics tool. So that's the one I just created to get the most up-to-date metrics for things like net debt to EBITDA, return on invested capital, PE ratio, and the like, right? So this is actually really important for the large language model to know that you want it to use a tool. Now, I also put into here an additional section here, balance sheet and income statement analysis. Okay, so as part of what I want the report to include, I've added this section here as well. So it's a balance sheet and income statement. So this will allow us to tell the large language model what it is that we want to analyze. All right, so let's go ahead now. I'll save this and then go ahead and run it. All right, so as before, it's getting into the SEC 10K tool to do part of the planning for how to create this report. And then what we should see here is that in here it'll also start being called. All right, so it's running. Yeah, see, it's being called here. Now, I'm just gonna let this go to the next node, and I'll stop at this next node. And what I realize here is that I need to make this tool also available to my agents. All right, so the specific research agents, I will just connect here, and now it has access to this tool as well. Now I'm going to go into the prompt here and just make sure that, yeah, so I've actually already added this where I'm telling the agents also when doing an analysis that requires financial ratios, use the available financial metrics tool, right? So it knows how to use the tool. All right, so let's go ahead and save it, and then I will run it from here. So I sped up the video just so that we can get through the workflow, but I can show you the end result. The report now has, in addition to the other components, it has the balance sheet and income statement analysis, and within that, it has all this ratios that it was able to get from the API that we called. Right, so all this information, all this financial metrics is now incorporated into the report. So that's pretty cool.